Hello and welcome to Subbies TV. I'm your host, Ninja. Now, we've had a great week this week in footy. We've had some awesome results, some big wins, some big upsets. And, of course, joining me this week in the bunker is the usual lads. We've got the big man, Chunky Chunk.
Hello, Ninja.
Hey, mate. Feeling good?
Very well, mate.
Excellent,
Very looking forward
excellent.
to today's show.
Loving the shirt. Team of the week. We've also got the mouth, Marley. Ready for another rant this week, mate?
Ninja, always, mate. Ready
Excellent.
to go.
And our special guest today on the show is New South Wales Waratah Damien Fitzpatrick. Dame, how are you, mate?
Well, Ninja.
Good, good. Now, just give us a rundown for the folks at home. So your background, your footy background, where you started, what you played, and now you're, of course, playing for the Tars.
Yeah, well, I haven't actually been to too many clubs. Luckily enough, I grew up in Mossman, so my background is the mighty Mossman Wales, and played there until I was about 12, and then went to Joey's and played there until I was 18. So
Joey's boy?
Yeah, of course, at Joey's, it's boarding school, so really I didn't get much chance to go and play club outside of that.
Yep.
And from there, joined the Tars when I was about 19. So it's been...
Very similar to my upbringing, actually. Yeah.
Identical to Marley's sort of career.
Yeah.
Identical. That's excellent. Now, the Tars, they've had a rough season.
We have.
What's the feeling like in the club, in the team there? They've got a big game this weekend.
Obviously, well, coming off that test, that test block, we had quite a few players in that. So there's a bit of confidence with those guys coming off 3 good wins against Wales. They've brought some, some hype back to the group and some confidence. But, obviously the boys are very disappointed. We've had, 5 close losses, 1 to 2 points.
Yep.
So there's not an awful lot wrong. We come into, a really good opportunity now to finish really strongly against the 2 Australian teams.
Yep.
Beating the Brumbies at home this weekend it's going to be a really big task. They dished us up when we played them down there.
We had a Brumbies supporter, so I must admit.
Okay, right, yeah. So we had a really good start against them, but they kind of absorbed the pressure. But we're hoping to finish the season off with these 2 wins against the Australian Conference and just let our fans know that we're going to be building to something bigger and better next year.
Yep.
There's not too much to change. The group understands that.
Well, you've got an incredible team. So
exactly, and a lot of we had the majority of the Wallabies playing, and if they can get 3 test wins against Wales, obviously there's not too much wrong. We need to address some things, which obviously will be.
Oh, brilliant. Well, really happy to have you on the show. Now, boys, let's get straight into it. Round wrap. Some huge scores during the weekend, but first game off the ranks, mighty Mossman Wales. They got up over Beecroft, 20-13. What do you think, boys?
Mate, very big comeback from the first round after they got a bit of a toweling at Beecroft.
Yep.
So the boys would be very happy to get that one up for sure.
Excellent. Yeah, I think it was a great game. I think Mossman just showed a lot of spirit because it was really close. 7 points. So Beecroft still getting a bonus point in there. Now, this is my pick of the week. I thought Barker were going to get up. They went down 17-3 to Knox.
A lucky win.
Yeah,
So
nice
there goes
call.
my dark horse. Thank you, Barker. A lot of help. A huge win now, Marley. You're going to probably go on.
Yeah, speaking of dark horses.
Pats.
Well picked, Marley.
Yes, thanks.
Mate, excellent. Well done.
I'm sure you've all seen the footage from last week. It was clearly my dark horse of the week, and they've absolutely romped it in. Obviously
Pats,
got them over the line.
Now, this is a huge 33-3 against Colleagues. Colleagues are one of the best teams in the comp, and across all grades too. To win 33-3.
Mate, why?
Huge.
What? Mate,
you
picked it. Mate,
I
why did
honestly
it
think it must have just been me.
Was the Eastern distributor closed, mate, or something? Did your colleagues not make their way over to St Pat's? Like,
Mate, it's a very unusual thing for
33 to
colleagues.
3.
Yeah, they don't usually get towelled up like that. You're certainly right there, boys. I don't know.
Colleagues have Mossman this week, and I reckon Mossman are going to have to bring their A game because they're not going to be happy. Of course, now this is a really close game out at Campbelltown. Campbelltown getting a win 21-19 against Hunters Hill. Hunters, they can't get that win. They're so close week in, week out.
Richo and I, that was our tip of the week last week, and we missed it by 2, but
but you missed it, so you don't get a
Start
point.
calling them Heartbreak Hill.
Heartbreak. It's an early one, but you're in. Heartbreak Hill. And of course, Drummoyne and Iggy's, they played out the last game of the round with 29-17 win for Drummoyne. Now, you've got some stuff you're wearing the shirt there, Chunky. What's some of the feedback for Drummoyne? We've got some footage, actually. We'll play some footage while you're talking there.
Yeah, mate, the featured team this week is Drummoyne Rugby Club. I spoke to the club captain, David Mew, and he filled me on the season so far to date. Their main goal for the season is to take out the Kentwell and Burt Cup after being beaten in both those grand finals by colleagues last year. They were hoping as well to be strong in Colts.
Yep.
But Colts being in 6th place, I don't think it's going to happen.
Well, they had a good showing last year, their Colties. They they surprised themselves by making the finals, I think. So that's definitely something they wanted to improve on, but hard season.
Mate, they recruited well. Sorry, Marley.
Certainly some decent goals there, though. We just want to win first and second grade.
Yeah,
that's all.
That's
and
right.
can I add also club chance? So they're
Club
only
chance.
52 points behind colleagues. So club chances up there in their goals.
Yeah.
They've recruited well over the season. They've got a Queensland red scrum half, Waverley fly half, and a West Harbour front rower. So they're
just no talent in the team.
Yeah.
That's all.
Struggling for numbers, obviously.
Yeah.
And one thing they've been impressed about this season is the opponents, that the front rows are bigger. So I'm not sure, Damo, are there more players coming down from Shute Shield to Kentwell Cup, or is there...
Because there's that sort of that link, isn't there,
Yeah,
sometimes?
or there's a few cousins coming over on boats, who knows. But as you said there was a West Harbour player there as well.
West Harbour player.
Did you, I heard a little while ago, was Leo Afiaki playing the centres as well?
Yes, I did. I heard that as well.
So there's another player who's played Super Rugby and played for Sydney Uni. So there's guys filtering down, and he's about as big as a prop. So
yeah, I think I heard a couple of quavering voices on the sideline saying, "Is that guy?"
Yeah.
And obviously with, I guess, East, and College being close to each other.
Yeah.
Mate, there's a nice little sort of partnership there.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they almost bounced their ladies' day off each other, I think. Two clubs probably couldn't do it better. I heard Mossman gave them a run for their money, but
Thanks,
I know in Shute Shield, East Ladies' Day is definitely one to put on the calendar. But I think, those two clubs run very similarly.
Yeah.
And, players often, if they've, want to maybe take it down a notch, they often just go straight from East to colleagues. It's easy.
Makes sense. Well, I mean, looking at the table there, what do you reckon, Marley?
Oh, well, obviously, it's a big hit for colleagues, actually, there, taking that loss. So Campbelltown get a bit of ground up on them there. And you've still got sort of that, there's a few teams there right in the middle at the back there's fighting for that sort of third and fourth place.
Yeah.
So.
And I think that loss Beecroft sort of took on the weekend could be a turning point if they get another couple of losses.
It certainly drags them back into that sort of fighting pack,
they could have actually had a little bit of a gap between sort of Knox and Mossman. And Anyway, moving straight on, this week's round 11 matchups. There's some great games coming up. I mean, there's some important games coming up.
Yeah.
Beecroft against Barker. Thoughts, boys? Damo, what do you think, mate?
That's one I'm not sure about. Look, from what I've seen and what I've heard, those are probably the two teams I at least know about.
Yep.
So I'm not going to make a
judgment.
judgment.
I asked you that game then.
Yeah,
exactly.
Good
hosting by me.
Yeah. Mate, I think the Barker boys have got a shot at them there. I think the Beecroft boys will come off and be a bit down after the last game.
It is Beecroft. They've got their ladies' day, so I mean, this weekend. So I think they're going to. I personally think they're going to get up, bounce back.
I'll tip Beecroft as well, mate. Is that your tip?
No.
We'll
get back to that.
I don't just throw them away.
Drummoyne and Hunters Hill at Hunters Hill. Now, Drummoyne got away with the win in round one. You've got to think they're going to get up again.
I think so. I certainly don't think Hunters will be looking at this one as the one to get up for this week.
But
I think Drummoyne
having said that, to go to Campbelltown and just lose by 2 points, confidence in the team.
Mate, that'll be my dark horse, mate.
That'll be yours.
Put on here now to try and
You're
catch
just
up.
skipping ahead. We're not even near the dark horse yet.
I'm excited. I just want to come back.
He knows I'm one up on it.
Yeah.
You'd say it's a local derby as well, yeah? I suppose
Yeah.
you would.
Yeah, well,
If you put those two
pretty
together,
much,
that's probably
absolutely.
another occasion for Hunters Hill maybe to get up for.
And I tell you what, if Balmain are looking hot to come up from second division next year, if you've got Hunters and Drummoyne and Balmain, those games, that'll be something I'll watch next year
I'll
for
have
sure.
to go far.
Exactly. Good point, Marley.
Yeah.
Really good point.
Thanks.
Pats and Knox, of course, playing out a game now. Pats, I mean, after the win they had last week, Knox, up and down season, they're usually up there.
Yeah.
I think Pats, again, they've just got this roll on.
I think they're just going to roll all the way through into the finals now.
Yeah, I think Richie Rich said it last week as well, didn't he? That I think his tackle
absolutely.
sort of kicked off and that'll be them. They'll go through.
I mean, we mentioned it the other week. They've had guys in the subby side, and they're moving on. They're steaming along.
Knox, as you said, are very up and down. They're a difficult team to pick this year.
It's I think it's been just a hard season. A couple of seasons.
They used to be tough to play.
They're always up there.
competitive.
They're always up there. Just I think this season's been a bit off. Iggy's and Campbelltown. Campbelltown's got to travel to Iggy's. Iggy's always hard home.
Yeah.
But
I'd still take Campbelltown, I think. I think they realise that they're in the mix there for the finals now, so they're not going to lose to a team that's come down the bottom. I think Campbelltown boys will just power through.
Like round 11, I guess, we're coming up to 7 or 8 rounds to go. that this is the business end of the season.
Absolutely.
So.
I'm going to take Iggy's on that.
Iggy's.
Why is that, Dave?
I am. I actually went down and watched them play a couple of weeks ago when they were playing Beecroft. And I watched a show last week. You guys were talking about some of their young Colts blokes, and I was pretty impressed. They had one young Colts guy, Nick Gillespie, actually, who apparently the club's been telling me has been playing really well week in, week out, and he's come up from Colts. I'm not sure of his background. He's quite dark, almost looks Indian, so I don't know where he's from, but he's one of those young Colts blokes that's really been impressive, and I think a couple of the clubs. Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to go Iggy's at home there.
All right.
Okay. Good tip,
Now,
mate.
game of the week. This one we've picked as game of the week. It's the Wales versus Colleagues. Colleagues obviously need to turn around. They need to get a win up after losing last week to Pats.
They will be fired up, that's for
They
sure.
will be fired up for sure. They've also got their old Colleagues Day, so a lot of the old supporters are going to come back down and watch that game. And Mossman, huge win last week.
Fought win, very well fought win.
I thought
We
so.
did well to hold on to Beecroft.
I think so. And, I think there's a bit of confidence in the Mossman side now. The boys are hoping to get another win, but this will be a tough game.
And again, coming back to that Beecroft losing points last week, I mean, you look at the table, Mossman gets a bonus point win, shoots them up a few places there, really gives them that sniff of the finals.
I think it's straight up. Mossman need to win, or they're not going to see finals footy.
Yeah, I agree.
I've never had a
hard hitting. I'm hard hitting. I'm like a current affair. I'm like
George
a current affair.
It's going to be tough for the boys.
That's straight up. Now, Miles, it's time. It's that time again. You've got a rant.
Can I be excused? Mate, I don't want to stay around for this one. I'm over these rants.
What have you got? What do you got, Miles?
Well, Nins, you're right. It is my time. I just want to say, why do Colts play in the middle of the day? I don't understand it. It goes 5s, 4s, 3s, Colts, 2s, 1s. Doesn't make any sense to me. Colts, for a start, I think Colts should be under 19s, not under 21s. By the time you're 21, you should be playing grade. And if you're going to play, you play first or you play last. Play under lights if the place has got lights. That's great. It means the first graders can come off, have a beer, still watch a game. Or you play first. You're young enough, you can get up before the 5th graders. You can play at 9:45 or whatever silly time it is. That's just my thoughts anyway.
There you go. So,
Gee, that's a big rant this week.
Colts first or last? None of this.
First or last. Don't jam them in the middle of the day. It just stops the play.
Fitzy, you're saying you reckon they should play before first grade?
Yeah, I was thinking that, but I actually listened to that. I like the idea of playing after first grade.
Yeah.
The old guys should get they should get the privilege of coming off and having a beer and watching the young guys run around. I like that idea.
Yeah.
I'd enjoy that. Yeah.
Going back to you spoke about the young old Iggies, mate. They're stepping up from Colts to grade, and by playing them, I guess, before first grade, a few of them can actually sit on the bench and come through. That's probably one of only my reasons to have them to start feeding them through.
That's my other issue though, is that they do play before seconds and 99% of them don't back up.
Yeah.
It means you've got third graders sitting around for an hour and a half, 2 hours waiting to back up for second grade.
They've got to get to Greenwood
maybe just a
dance
club.
floor. Greenwood,
Yeah, exactly.
so it's
They've got to go.
they don't want to have an.
Now, we've done a few Colts
First
under
grade
lights at Mossman.
Love it.
That's worked really well.
Sure, yeah.
We get a big crowd. The girlfriends turns up, and it is a chance for the first grade boys to watch the
check
game.
out the
I love
Colties
how you
girlfriends.
check out
highlight-
the Colties
watch
girlfriends
another game.
as well as watch the young
Chuck,
talent.
you're about 80 years old. And all right, boys. Now we've got a hot news segment this week. It's called Dunning's Doings, where we digress what Dunning's done. That's right, Matt Dunning. We've inadvertently talked about him each week, but we've got a couple of photos sent in. Here's the first one. He's sort of getting what looks to be a sort of headlock.
Just getting to know the kid.
Yeah, just getting to know an Epping Ram 70-kilo flanker. And there's the second photo of him just sort of, I think that's a suplex slam?
Suplex.
Yeah, suplex.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
Suplex.
I think the actual
Learn to
young
speak.
bloke number 7 was holding a ram burger. And it's
Ah.
not a tackle. I think he's actually stealing the burger off the number 7.
That's great work.
That's on the sideline.
That's great work. So that's Dunning's Doings, where we've just digressed.
Mind you, I believe Matt Dunning's not actually playing in the front row. Isn't that right? He's playing. I think you'll find he's actually playing in the back row.
On the wing.
No, I think he actually.
the
If
back
you
row.
have
So
look, I
he's
think
just-
he packed. I think one of his clauses of playing. I remember talking to him before he did start playing for Hornsby. There was that he didn't feel that he should be playing in the front row.
That's
obviously,
sensational.
Why is that?
obviously because.
That's good. He's a
Say
little
for
bit
this
better
reason.
than-
Say for this reason, if he hurts, say a scrum collapses as they do,
Yeah.
and he's responsible. Obviously, the finger may be pointed at someone like Tucky in that position, but
that's good. That's good that he's decided to stay on the
Exactly.
side of the scrum and just choke out young kids
I
at number 7
think
instead.
I think he's just
That's excellent.
introducing this bloke to footy, really.
Welcome to third division.
Matt Dunning
son.
has got high integrity, so I'm sure what he's
No,
doing
that's-
there was on the ball and.
Well, the kid probably said something to him, I reckon, for sure. Now we've got sent in photos this week, which is great. And remember, you can always send in stuff to us if you have footage or any photos of your games on the weekend. Send it into rugbystuff@subbystv.com.au. And here's some that we got. This is first grade coach from Epping Rams, and he looks very similar to Quentin Tarantino. So that's good. We've got the Rams burger getting prepared there.
Oh, the beautiful Ram
sensational.
burger. There's a bit of talk about that.
I'm not sure where they put the Rams, Marley, but they're there somewhere. This photo here this is a family photo. So it's 3 brothers, the Stewart brothers, I believe, and Dad there, who used to also coach and ref. So
Do they all run out in the same team, or they just happen to put jerseys on?
But I've played against the Stewart brothers, and they're handy boys. They're good players.
Mate, I remember when your brother came up, when you had a run from Mossman. It's kind of nice to run there with family.
He's rubbish, though. He is rubbish.
Okay,
He doesn't know how to play footy. Wales burger, the Wales burger, the whale burger there. Beautiful. So we got sent that in. And here's Mossman had their old boys have some drinks on the weekend. There's a boat race.
Mighty 70s team.
And check out these photos here. This is Drummoyne and Pat. So this is actually from about round 4, and they got 2 of their big men to have a bit of a boat race. So they had to scull a beer on what looks to be the try line. They're sprinting down there, and then again at halfway, and probably another one at the finish line. So there's the photos of the week. So thanks for those guys sending those
Marley,
in.
do you reckon I could win that race, mate?
Mate, it could be the first time you've ever been. I'd actually back you in a race.
Now,
looks like an R-rated Teletubbies show.
The next thing we've got, guys, is we got some top quality footage here from the Petersham Ladies' Day of a ref who's just come off the field. He tore his hamstring. The thing is, what happens in subbies when a ref has to go off? I mean, is there a coach ref that sends on a reserve ref? Does that reserve ref have to give a card to the ref that just came off so he can go on? Does he give the card to himself? How do they sub?
What about yellow cards and red cards? Do they just swap them, or are they personal things?
Yeah, do they have their own little tag?
Yeah, do they have to cut their own cards out?
Or is it a white flag?
But that's interesting. That's something you don't see often.
No, it wasn't. I was surprised actually with the pace of the changeover. I was
did they
the
just get
Spielbergo there with the with the drunken
Peter Jackson
footage.
But did they just get the guy from the next game to ref or the previous
I
game?
assume he must have been, because he was all kitted up and ready to go, and it was sort of
He might have just been.
went.
He actually was just someone watching the game who's always wanted to ref.
Yeah, just walks around ready to go.
He's running.
Ninja, he was at Mossman earlier in the day,
Yeah.
but couldn't see an opening till later in the afternoon. Probably.
Yeah.
Now we've got to just move on. Just a quick one. Just real quick thoughts. We actually want people to come on the Facebook page and tell us your thoughts on this. What is your thoughts on refs from the same team reffing, say, lower grades? So, for instance, reffing the 5th grade games and then going on and playing 3rds or 2nds or something like that for their club. Do you think it's fair? Is it warranted, or is it just a matter of we just need some qualified refs to ref those lower grade games?
Yeah, look, I'm fine with it. If they're qualified refs, then fine.
Chunky, what do you think, mate?
Mate, as long as they're being fair to both teams, I guess.
And Fizzy?
Yeah, as I say, look, I think we're probably struggling for refs at the moment, so I think you can't really segregate about that kind of stuff. And obviously, if it does become an issue, and obviously teams will start writing in and complaining, if there's too many of them, it'll be an issue that probably needs to be addressed. But if every club's has the same view and there's not too many problems, then
and it's just maybe those close games where people turn around and go,
and the same respect as well.
Exactly.
That they're going out there to referee.
So moving straight on, we just said, I mentioned Epping had their Ladies' Day on the weekend, which is great. They went out there with the pink socks, raising money for breast cancer. So good work to everyone involved with Epping Rams. Petersham, how was theirs?
Yeah, mate, I headed out there. It was a bloody lovely day. Lovely young ladies on the sidelines. There's some cold beers. Jumping castle for the kids.
Just research, of course, Marley.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Just I didn't drink any of the beers. I just bought them from my friends.
Yeah, all of them.
Yes, and on a bit more of a serious note, actually, this weekend down at Wallara for East vs Norths, there will be a bit of a fundraiser for Seti Tafua, the lock from Norths, who had a bit of a spinal injury the other week. So, from Subbies TV to all his family, we'd like to send our best wishes out to you, and we'll be getting down there.
If everyone can get down there, really support. I think it's something that's not addressed often, and the more support we get for players that do get injured in the sport is it's much needed. So our best wishes go out to the family and the club. Also, so a reminder, also the colleagues have their back to Colleagues Day or Old Colleagues Day, and Beecroft, their Ladies' Day this weekend. So that's sort of the club announcements, boys. So it's good. Now this is the hot tip. This is the thing that everyone wants to watch each week. This is the dark horse. Now Marley's on one.
Get your coin
he got
on
his
this.
last week. Marley's on one. The guest has not done any good. Chunk, you're rubbish, and we're
Mate, I'm on the same score as you.
And
I think it's time for you and I to bring back Marley.
We've got to wrap up, boys. But what's everyone's dark horse? What do we got?
Chunky, what do you got?
Oh, mate, I think, mate, Hunters Hill versus Drummoyne.
You think Hunters is going to
I'm
go
going
up?
to tip Hunters.
You are in love with Hunters. That's good though. All right.
Hunters and Collectors.
Go.
I'll take the Mossman boys against Colleagues, actually playing away to Colleagues, but I think
that's
coming
gutsy.
off a big win, I think they're going to get them up.
I'm going to jump on that bandwagon. So just because you got good form, Marley. Yeah. So Mossman for the win there, and Fitzy.
And I'll stick with what I said before. I think Old Iggy's.
Iggy's.
I think Old Iggy's at home. Obviously Campbelltown. With the travel, I think Old Iggy's will get up there from what I saw.
Excellent. Well, that's it for Subbies TV this week. Of course, you guys can jump on the Facebook page, Subbies TV, so get on board, like it. We've got 1 million people on there already, but we need more. Feel free to post photos or stories from your weekend. And if you have anything you want to email into us, feel free. rugbystuff@subbiestv.com.au. So that is it for this week, guys. Thank you, Chunky Chunk.
Thanks, Ninj. If you'd like to be the featured team on the show this week, thanks to the boys at Drummoyne this week, please email me at chunk@subbiestv.com.au.
Brilliant. And Miles, thanks, mate.
Thank you, mate. All the pleasure was yours, as
Good rant
usual.
this week, mate. Good rant.
Thank you.
Good
And
rant.
on that point, if you've got a great topic you want me to rant about, send them in to marley@subbiestv.com.au and I'll see whether I care about it or not.
Can they rant about your rant?
Possibly.
And big thank you to our special guest.
Thanks, Fitzy.
Ninj.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Vince.
mate.
Good
All right,
stuff,
that's
mate.
it, guys. That's it for Subbies TV. Until next week, enjoy your rugby.